Hello, my Teaserking family. How is everybody today? Happy Sunday. Let's talk a little basketball. Let's talk a little baseball. My big game yesterday, Toronto Raptors, backs against the wall. I told my Ottawa friends yesterday, when do I bet it? I says, when the back's against the wall. They were down 3 and they killed whoever they played. I don't remember. I think Philadelphia. That's what you do in the NBA playoffs. The team down 3-0, 3-1 at home, must win. The team with the 3 wins kind of relaxes because they don't need to win. They're up 3-0. They're going to win. They'll go home and win game 5. It's the general thought. The team down 3-0 knows it's do or die. And you know when the back's against the wall, you're going to win. Especially a playoff game, you're a pretty good team. You're going to win a high percentage and a home dog to boot. Very easy win there. But let's go through baseball first, and then we'll look at basketball today. Yesterday, the Yankees under, loser. The lock, San Francisco, winner. The Pitt, the lesson learned there was that the pitcher for Pitt hadn't pitched. So as soon as he gives up 5-6 runs, all of a sudden the ERA is 10. See, that's what you get into early. The hitting and the pitching is so little statistics that it gets skewed. So the guy's not as good of a pitcher as we thought. And now we know he stinks. Minnesota, the Vikings under 8.5, lit it up yesterday, so that was good. We lost with the under. Milwaukee, we win. Oakland over 7.5, it's a loser. St. Louis over 9, it's a loser. We hit Toronto, as I said, they beat Verlander. They'll probably just keep winning. Tampa Bay under 7.5, a W. Atlanta over 8, a W. The Mets under 9, a W. LA, a loser at San Diego. Baltimore under 8.5, a winner. And Seattle is a winner. So not a bad day. The lock won San Francisco. The other Minnesota under lock had won the night before. And, that's what happens. So they score runs. They're still a weak team, but I'm going to go through that today. I'm going to re-up my stats. So let's look at today's games. And we will. My mouse is killing me here. Sometimes it works on now it's working, but come on. Yeah, it's probably the battery, so I need to go out and get a new mouse battery. But sometimes it works perfectly fine, so I don't think it's the battery. It's some signal. All right, so let's go to the East. Okay. So Colorado, Detroit, Colorado, Chad Cool with a 0.8. And if he's pitched in Colorado, a 0.87 ERA is huge. Against Tyler Alexander, 0-1 with a 4.26 ERA. 5 years, I bet he didn't get 100 hits. So it's not a big deal in my mind. The Triple Crown's a big deal, but just because you play a long time, then you finally get 3,000 hits, I just... not an accomplishment. No Mickey Mantle. Boston at Tampa. Rich Hill with a 7 ERA against Shane McClanahan with an 0-1 with a 2 ERA. So again, looking at ERAs, I like Tampa Bay in the game. Let's look at, this is kind of an older stat, so we got to update it. I have Tampa Bay as an over team, although we're winning with them under yesterday, and Boston as an over team. So not great defense and or hitting and not great pitching. So I'm going to take Tampa at home, figuring they can hit Hill with the 7 ERA. They should be able to score on them. I'm noticing the over-unders are a little more difficult because you look at 2 higher ERAs, you think, they're going to score a lot, and then they don't score. Now, the puzzling part, here's the puzzling part. Let's look at the Indians and the Yankees. Cleveland's got 6.14 ERA guy going against Cole, 6.35 ERA. So you got 2 6 ERA pitchers on the mound, yet the over-under in the game is 7. And you're like, are you kidding me? I don't understand a 7 over-under with 2 pitchers that are 6s. I mean, that should be a lot of runs, I would think. So let's take a look. The Yankees are an under team with overall good pitching. And Cleveland is an A team with a pretty good pitching staff, which means the bullpens are pretty good. Again, it's so early that you don't know. So good bullpens, weak starters. I'm not seeing either team really big hitters. Cleveland. Yeah, so I mean, Cleveland I got as an A team, so they can hit. I like over 7 with these 2 pitchers. Again, this is the uniqueness of baseball. Baseball, you have new pitchers every day, so it's not like the 49ers and the Vikings and the Bears and the Giants and everything, where you basically get the same team. And maybe it's a little different matchup, but in the pros, every team does the same freaking thing. It's just if you got Aaron Rodgers and Brady, or if you got, Stafford and Jared Goff. I mean, if you got good quarterbacks or bad quarterbacks. So where that happens, different starters, you're not sure who's in the bullpen today. If they pitched yesterday, they're going to pitch them today. So you get a lot of that. So I like, I can't in and under, but not in this case. I definitely like the game over. Miami, both Miami's pitchers 4.82 ERA, Atlanta's is 4.50. If I look at Atlanta's an over team. Miami's this is a question. This isn't as strong because the ERAs are both in the 4s. So even if they do it normal, it would be about an 8. See, this makes sense. This would be about an 8.5 run game. Where the Yankee game should be easily 10, 11 runs. The Atlanta-Miami games probably, maybe 7, 8, 9. And the over-under's 8.5. So do I like Atlanta? Well, hard to trust Bruce Eldler with a 4.50 ERA. So that was an under team. So again, I got an over. Now we get into a few locks. Washington is a weak pitching staff and a weak team. Again, it's a lock. Again, take the Niners. Again, I don't know if Logan Webb 2.55. I got to go with what it is. He's pitched 2 games, so he's pitched 10, 12, 13 innings. So he's getting it under his belt. And this 8 on 5.87, he's pitched 3. He's not good. So again, we're locking the 49ers over the Redskins. St. Louis, Cincinnati. Wainwright 2-1 with a 2.81 against. When I look at St. Louis, they're an A team with an A bullpen, and I look at Cincinnati, I got them as a Z team. So again, A against Z. I'm locking St. Louis. I'm not messing around with the over/under here. I'm taking St. Louis to get the W here. Again, you got good. I don't know if Wainwright is the ace or not, and then I'll have to figure out as we go. But for now, he's just a good pitcher, so we're just betting on him. Okay, the Bears against the Vikings, round 3, and here we go again. We got Galato for the Bears, 0.000. Archer 0-0 with a 2.16 ERA. Again, we both have them under. Minnesota got some runs yesterday, but Minnesota under 7.5. I just think the teams are not hitting well, and apparently 2 good pitchers. Although I did that yesterday with one of the games. I think the Pittsburgh game, I had the guys like a 0. but the Cubs did all the scoring. So again, I was looking at a 0 ERA, hoping that the guy's actually a good pitcher. Again, I think Toronto will sweep them because they beat Verlander, then they won the next game. Good pitcher for Houston again. Toronto's pitcher's okay. And then it becomes, let's look at Toronto and Houston. And let's see, Houston I have as an under team, and Toronto I have as an over team. Houston's an under, and they're facing a good pitcher. So I think Toronto wins, but I'm going to take Toronto under 8.5. But I wouldn't be surprised if it went higher. Again, how good is this Kikuchi? 3.24 ERA. And with an 80 ERA, and he pitches 2 innings, gives up 2 runs. Then the bullpen comes in and shuts them down. It's amazing how bad the hitting is. I'm trying to adjust to all these 200 hitters and 150 hitters. Then they score 6 runs, and you're like, oh, they got knocks. And you're like, well, walk's not a hit. I have to adjust for that. I'm going under because of I just think Houston a little bit. I think it's either I've already used the Bears for the White Sox, so I can't use the Bears again. So we're going power. We can go Steelers, Cubs. How about that for my football fans? Pitt, 0-2 with a 7-3-0, and Steele for the Cubbies, 1-1 with a 4-5-0. This looks like a high-scoring game, especially after yesterday's 21. The over/under here is 10. Holy shit! Let's look at the Cubbies. Bad pitching and an over against the Steelers, who are an under team with good pitching. So you would think the Steelers would win this game, but then they got a 7.3 ERA on the mound. So you can't buy that. Cutter raise. Here you got a 10 over under, and it's partly probably from the 21 scored yesterday. This is a tough one. I think I got to go over. I can't take Pitt with this pitcher, and I can't take the Cubs with their pitcher. So it leads to should be a high scoring game, and the line's awfully high. Okay, Baltimore and the Rams. 0-0, 0-0 ERA, and the Rams have Suarez 1 with the 5-1 more. I got them as an under team, kind of a Z. They don't score a lot. Under team. Taking them, and then taking the Angels. I am as an over team. That's about all I got with them. So what am I betting? I'm taking Baltimore based on the pitch. And Baltimore's won the last few in California. A 5-4 win yesterday. So Baltimore starting to hit, starting to get better. 6-9 record. So they're, it's kind of a mixed bag here. Texas against Oakland. Rich, both pitchers stay. I have the Raiders as a over team. So this, I think, would be an over. You got 2 bad pitchers. I don't see Texas or Oakland really with a good bullpen at the time. I'll have to double check it. That's what I'll be doing this afternoon. Oakland doesn't seem to hit. Texas over. Well, how can Oakland be an over? Well, I guess they're an over because as they give up a good play. Kansas City and Seattle. Hernandez for Kansas City, 7-7. Robbie. KC I have as an under with bad hitting, which would lead this to be an under game. Let's see what I had yesterday. I had Seattle and they won. They scored a lot of runs at the end, so that's going to boost them from an under to an over. Kansas City, really bad pitching. So I like this game over because of the pitchers today. I mean, KC's pitcher is like Mahomes, right? 7.27 and Robbie Ray 4. So just on the pitching, and now how long the starting pitchers are going to go, and how strong is the bullpen. So I like the game over. It's only 7.5. I think that's a small over. Texas over 7.5. And that's the real thing. You look at the ERAs, but you've got to realize you're only getting 5. Sometimes you're getting 2, 3 innings out of these guys. And what kills me is the bullpen comes in and one pitcher pitches 1 inning, and and they put out 5, 6 pitchers who pitch 1 inning. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. Getting to the point where the pitcher can only pitch 1 inning. I mean, it's mind-boggling because pitching's an art, and you get a good pitcher, you want them out there more than 1 inning. You don't want them. Can you have in the bullpen that are good? So I don't know. I like the game over. Go there. Okay, Dodgers and the Chargers. Clayton Kershaw for the. I mean, you got two studs going out. Let's see what the LA I got as an A team and an A pitching staff. And San Diego, I also have as an A team. So when A plays A, you can't. It's hard. You got to take. Normally, I would take the dog if it was a football game. I would tease the dog. Too bad I can't tease the over under down to 1 or under 13 in this case. I like the game under. I think you have to play it. They're both strong bullpens, so there shouldn't be a lot of scoring. What happened yesterday? San Diego did win like 4-2 or something. So it was a low scoring game, but with Kershaw on the mound, I definitely think this will be a low scoring game. Now, here's where I know Kershaw. This 3.0 ERA is probably not really that it should be lower. And Manea is 2-1, so he's pitched a lot of innings and he's got a 1.42 ERA. And granted, they played Cincinnati, but you really can't really start getting into that. All you can say is San Diego at home with a good pitcher. Good pitcher's a good pitcher. So let's take San Diego under 7. The Mets against the Cardinals. Well, I better call them the Diamondbacks because people might get confused with St. Louis. The Mets, let's see, Miguel for the Mets, 2-0 with a 2.2 ERA. Baumgartner, 0-1 with a 1.38 ERA. I think we all know where we're going here. How the hell the over-under is 8.5 is beyond me. Mets are a really good team. Arizona, I think, got them yesterday. No, I went with the Mets under 9. Okay, so I just think Baumgartner could shut them out, and Miguel 2-0 with a 2. It's an under, and it's 8.5 is a joke. I mean, where are you getting 8.5 with these two pitchers? I can see if Miguel hadn't pitched, but he's 2-0, so he's pitched, and Baumgartner's got a 1.38 ERA. So you got to figure and hope that you go like 6, 7 innings of shutout ball and keep that big inning away, and then the under of 8.5. That's it. We did not play Milwaukee, Philly. Let's see. Let's break it down. I got Milwaukee. I got Lauer, 3.48 against Nola for Philly, 5.52. Would lead me to believe it would be a higher scoring game. Let's check out Philly and Milwaukee. Philly I have as an over team with a weak bullpen. Milwaukee I have as an under team with weak hitting. So it's a contradictory ERA pitcher on the mound. So I'm not playing. I don't know what to do with it. Why is he over under 7.5? I would say go over 7.5 in this game, but Milwaukee's such a bad hitting team. Do I have anything from yesterday? Milwaukee. I bet Milwaukee won. So you could take Milwaukee again. That Philly's so bad. Lower is okay. Nola's not good. So maybe you take Milwaukee. Let's take you to standings and had my mouse. Like, what the fuck? What is going on? Even on the mouse pad, I can't get my mouse to work very good. I hate when it's like really close to what you want and then it won't. Come on. Okay. Yeah, the mouse. Come on. All right. So when we look at standings, Jesus Christ. Okay. So let's superficially look at it. I'll go team by team. So you got Toronto is even. They score 59 and give up 55. There's nothing there. The Yankees 48 scored, 42 against. Maybe that's an under. Tampa Bay scores 66, gives up 61, clearly an over. Boston scores 56, gives up 59, clearly an over. Then you get Baltimore, who's only scored 38, give up 50, but they have been playing well in California. So right now I'd call them an under, but almost a W. They don't score and they give up. But 352, obviously strong team. Mini 52 and all. Kind of a, I don't know if you're over, maybe an over team. The White Sox 46 and 62, they're a W. They give up a lot more than they score. Detroit 51, 52 is an even. And then Kansas City 39 and 62, they're terrible. What did we do with Kansas City today? Who are they playing? Are they playing Seattle? Anyway, Kansas City, so they don't hit and their bullpen sucks. So that's, you almost just want to bet against them, but they're 5-8. They're not terrible. They just seem to lose by a lot and then they win by a little. Seattle 72-55, very strong. Same thing with California 72-66. Oakland 67-60. So those three teams are pretty good, even though their record doesn't show it. They do score a lot. Then you got Houston, who's an under. They only scored 46, and that's how I'm deriving. I've got Seattle with 72, and they just got 46. Now, granted, Seattle's played one more game, and that's why I like doing per game and not total. Let's see if I can find another 14 and compare that. Okay, Cleveland's a 14. So they played 14 games, 73-52, and Houston's only got 46. So here's Cleveland with 73 runs in 14 games, and Houston with 46 runs in 14 games. So you can see the big difference. So Houston's a very, I don't know, they got Verlander and the guy today, so they're an under team. And then you got Texas, an over team, scoring 71, giving up 76. So not good. Let's go to the National League. All right. The Mets, 75-47. That's an 8 team. Strong on offense, strong defense. Atlanta, an over, 64-77. Miami, 54-54 is an even. Philly, kind of a weak, probably an over, 64-74. Washington is definitely a W team. They've only scored 59, gave up 88. Maybe they're an over, but they're not. Well, they score okay, but they give up a lot. You can't bet on Washington. St. Louis, 59-37, a definite under and a definite strong team. Milwaukee, even 53-56. Pittsburgh, 53-8 team because of one game, and they give up 21. Same thing with the Cubbies, who were 61 and 61. You'd say, oh, they're an even team. Now they score 21, and now they're 81 and 61. But one game really is skewing the analysis. Scored 39 runs in 15 games. Let's compare that with the Cubs. Well, let's not use the Cubs. Let's use Philadelphia. Philadelphia 64-74, and Cincinnati only scored 39 in the same 15 games, and they give up 83. So Cincinnati is definitely the worst team. just look to bet against them right now, unless it's just a bad pitcher. The Dodgers 72-36. They're a very strong A team. The Niners 67-39, another very strong team. Colorado 65-68, looks like an over team. San Diego 65-51, they were an A team, now looks like pretty much an over. And then Arizona 47-61, which looks like a they look like a kind of a weak team. Definitely a bet against team. Okay, let's go to the NBA. Scores and schedules. I love these mock drafts. They're so stupid. Let's look at NBA scores and schedules. So that's your baseball. 2 locks, Frisco and St. Louis. All right. Let's see who's on board with me. If my Ottawa people made some money on Toronto yesterday. And let's see, who do I got? Hello, everybody. Again, I'm in right now. I'm in Yahoo, so be patient about me answering comments, but please ask them if any questions or comments. Let's go back. So let's look at the NBA to get a flavor of who's got their back against the wall. First round, Phoenix leads New Orleans 2-1. Dallas, I mean, it's kind of giving me the bracket, but it ain't the fucking NBA playoffs. I mean, this isn't a tournament. This is playoffs. So Dallas, Utah tied at 2. Golden State 3-0 against Denver. Memphis and Minnie tied at 2. Miami 2, Atlanta 1. Philly 3, Toronto 1. I know where that game 5's at. Milwaukee 2, Chicago 1, even though Chicago won in Milwaukee. And Boston 3, Brooklyn 0. So can I get a freaking line on anything? Okay, upcoming. So Milwaukee and Chicago. The Bucks lead the series 2-1. The Bulls back against the wall a little bit, getting 4.5. It's kind of a back against the wall because if Chicago loses, they go down 3-1, but it's not back against the wall yet because it's still competitive at 2-1. We're looking for that. Okay, here we go. Golden State at Denver. You got Golden State 3-0. The game's in Denver, and Golden State's a 4.5-point favorite. This is a Denver play from a back against the wall. This is it. They're going all out. Golden State knows they can afford to lose, be up 3-1, and go back to Golden State. It's 4.5, so Golden State can still win, but Golden State doesn't care. Psychologically, they're 3-0. They're going to let down a little bit, and if they lose, they go home and they win the series there. So take Denver. This is exactly what we're looking for. Miami, Atlanta. Miami leads the series 2-1. Miami, but not really back against the wall. They can't go 2-2, so Miami's still high. We're looking for Golden State says, you know what? It doesn't matter. We're going to win the series anyway when we go back to Golden State. Afford to lose. 2-1, you can't afford to lose. You still need to win. So we're not taking Atlanta there. Phoenix against New Orleans. Phoenix is 2-1. Again, they want to go 3-1. Phoenix is a 2.5-point favorite. It's amazing, all these home dogs. Chicago and Denver, these teams are home dogs, which is amazing. But they are the 8th. Like, it does matter in basketball. It doesn't matter in hockey. And it really doesn't matter much in football as much as it should. Especially this year, football really had no super team. So again, the 1 seed against the 8th seed. The 8 seeds are home dogs. It's 2-1. You would think the 1 seeds would win to finish them, but I do like the Bulls, who blew out Milwaukee in the last game, and then Golden State, Denver. Again, Denver back against the wall. So those are your 4 games for today. The bet would be Denver with wall theory, and I would think Chicago too, but we'll see. I can't believe there's a play-in round in the tournament. Like, you've got to be freaking kidding me. How stupid is this? It's a playoff. It's not a tournament. Who thinks it's a tournament? This is a playoff. You're playing 4 out of 7. It's not a tournament. A tournament's a 1 game and a lose. Okay, so Dallas, Utah, I would think you bet the second theory in betting playoff basketball is bet the loser back. Utah 4 against 5. It's 2-2. I would bet the loser back. Memphis, Minnesota, it's tied at 2-2. There, I would bet the loser back. Miami, Philly, Toronto. That's really the 4 seed against the 5 seed, and Toronto killed them. But I would look for Philly, depending on the line. I would look for Philly to then win the next game and put it away. But if they don't, then I would look for Toronto to win Game 6. Milwaukee, Chicago is 3 against the 6 seed. I like Chicago to Milwaukee at home. And then Boston, Brooklyn. Now, does Brooklyn have their back against the wall? Are they going to win? That would be a tough one. That's Boston's playing well. Is Brooklyn any good? I mean, Harden's so overrated. He did good when he was on Golden State with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green and all the rest of them. But on Oklahoma, he choked. I mean, basically they had him and he couldn't finish it. And now here he doesn't do anything. Why does he need 3 guys to be a good player? Oh, I got to have my guys. That's just very distasteful to me that they got to get their buddies together to win. Like, I'm not good enough to win. I need 2. What a joke that is. So maybe you take Brooklyn in a game 4 where they must win and Boston can afford to lose. But I just think that mentally Brooklyn just doesn't have it. I don't know if they're the same team, but Toronto for sure, 4 against 5, and they should have won Game 3. I guess they blew a big lead there. So I definitely look. I don't know. That's where I would bet the loser back. Philly lost. I think Philly wins the series. Milwaukee, Chicago, bet the loser back. I don't think you can bet the loser back Miami, Atlanta, or the Phoenix, New Orleans, because it's 1 against 8. The 1 has so much more talent than the 8 seed, but definitely the 4-5. So Dallas, Utah, bet the loser back. Golden State, Denver, definitely bet Denver in a must-win game here. And Memphis, Mini, I would bet the loser back. So that is how we play basketball. It is psychological. It is bet the loser back. And that's what you're looking for, that edge of betting the loser back. That's exactly what I look for in football when I can get the team that has the back against the wall. In other words, a couple of years ago, New England was started out slow, and they had 2 games, and they're playing, I think, Miami or somebody who was maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and Miami was like 3-1, and here comes and New England was 1-3, and they were at home, and they were playing Miami, and if New England lost, they're done. They have to win, otherwise Miami goes up 4-1 on them, and backs against the wall, and that was a lock, and New England killed them, and that's what you're looking for, especially when you get them at home. You get a team back against the wall at home, the crowd helps. That's what you want. I'm listening to some idiot on one of these broadcasters, and they're breaking down the game, and I'm like, well, Atlanta scores more at home. Yeah, because of the crowd. That's why in basketball, the home teams are better bets. the role players play better at home than they do on the road. That's why they're role players. But when the crowd gets going and they're excited, they play well. But when you get them on the road, they don't play well at all. So that's why teams tend to score better and do better at home than they do on the road, because these players need the crowd cheering to play well, not like a Magic Johnson or Bird, like in Vegas with the big screens. And the bookie, I don't bet there because the odds are so bad. But I do like to watch the games. I'll have to go down and check out during football season what's going on. Well, and exciting today. Hello. God, my computer is so slow. This internet's really bad. Okay, here I am. Am I back? Okay. So let's keep it light. So we've talked baseball, we've talked basketball, and we're going to talk poker. My observations from yesterday. So the key I watch is how the people bet their good hands and their bad hands. God, I'm like 10-second delay here. I apologize, but I can't do anything. People get the hands, and they'll bet a 15 or 20. But what they don't realize is they kind of tell you what they had after the hand. Yeah, I had ace king. I had king queen. So you watch that because you want to see how the player bets. Is he really hot, or is he just betting $20 every hand? And most of the time, at least the games I play, they're hot. They're getting cards. And then they'll fold or they'll check when they don't have anything, and that comes out pretty obviously. One big hand, I have ace king of spades, and he gets bet up to like $20, and I'm like, what the fuck? So somebody had raised it. I call with ace king, fearing he's got a big pair, and he did. He had king. I think he had king jack. I have ace king, and the flop comes king. No, there was a flop that game. He had queen jack. He raised it up. I have ace king. The flop comes king queen jack, and he's betting $60. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I got ace king queen jack. I need a 10, but it's a one-way straight. I don't have the 8 outs. I got 4, and I got the king, which he's betting $55 now. He's got $55. This is my point. He's probably got a hand. He's not bluffing me. He's just doing that. So I fold my ace king, fearing he's flopped a straight or fearing a set. He actually had 2 pair. He actually had queens and jacks. I had the kings. I think the third queen comes. So I would have had kings and queens and really lost a lot of money. So sometimes you look at the bet and then you look at the if come. Well, he's betting 55 now. He's going to bet another 100 on the turn. So I'm in for 200-300. And all I got's a pair of kings. Normally, when I got ace king and I hit the king or the ace, normal board, I'm betting $50, $75. And again, this is a 1-2 game. So I'm normally pounding it, but in this instance, being raised, now he had the first call. I just smelt it. I go, that is not the time you hit the king on ace king. Somebody bets 50 that you start defending and you start adding that. A lot of poker is defending. So in other words, what do I mean? Well, let's say you got ace king and it comes king 9-5 with 2 hearts. I'm not slow playing that. I'm not waiting and deceiving. I'm betting it because I'm defending against the flush. So some guy's got 2 hearts. He's got 4 hearts. I can't sit there and go and check. When people check, they're such idiots. How do you check that? You've got the lead. You've got to make them pay for the flush. And if you make a big bet, chances are they're going to fold. And that's happened a few times yesterday. My best hand, there was Ace King, and I look and I got pocket eight, and Ace King bets 15 color. I have pocket aces. I go up to $50, and basically the pot. He goes all in for another 100, and I'm loving it. So I, of course, call, assuming he's got his pre-flop. But once the flop hits, they're not good. Something, and so I end up getting the Jesus. It's hard because I'm normally watching myself and I can't because I'm like a 20-second delay here. So he turns over Ace King of clubs, flush doesn't hit. There's nothing he can do. I think a pair of fours hit, which made it even better. And that was the big hand. But so if it's check, and it's $2 in the pot, I'm not going to bet 50 with my aces. I mean, it's not worth it. I'm betting 50 to win $8 is not worth it, or $10. I think there's more mileage there. However, I would probably raise to 20, but with I think it's a $15 bet and 2 callers. Now I want to be aggressive. So you've got to react to what's happened. And that's what I mean by action reaction. 15 call. I know nobody's got, the callers don't have, they're looking to see a flop. So I got to get them out. And because there's already 45 in the pot, I'm happy to win 45. So I'm going to bet 50 in the pot, and when the guy jumps all in on me, I go, well, maybe he's got aces, but maybe he's got kings, and he turns out he's got ace king, so it's even better because I can't worry about his ace. He can't king me. He's not going to beat me. It's just the flush, but it came rainbow, so not a problem. But that's what I mean by action reaction, and you got to cover it. Let me see other hand. I mean, so that's why sometimes you just bet when somebody jumps into you. The most critical thing you can do is you bet 40 and they call. You've got to ask yourself why. Are they on a draw and they're calling, or are they slow playing you? And that's the key. But once you see that, so you get the same information betting 20 as you do 40. If you bet 20 and the guy folds, he's folding for 40, he's folding for 20. You don't care, but what you do care is when he check raises you or he calls you. Now you bet 20 and he calls. Okay, there was a hand I had pocket nines, I think, or I had like something 9 and a 9 flops. It came like 4-4-9 and I had the 9. So I got top pair. And I bet a small bet just to feel it out. And he calls, and sure as shit, he had the third 4. But as soon as he called, knowing that the psychology of most players, if they miss the flush, if they miss the flop, and you make a bet, they're folding. Very few are actually going to call. So in that instance, when he called, I asked, why did he call? And that's, does he actually, because there's nothing out, right? It's 9-4-4. I got the 9. I think I had king 9 or something. He's got the 4. So does he have the third 4? Well, he calls because he wants to keep me in. So then I got to check. And then sure as shit, he bets on the river, and sure as shit, I fold because now I realize he must have the third 4. The other thing you have to look at when there's a pair on board, so let's say the flop comes king 10-10, and then it goes ace 9, let's say, and somebody makes a big bet. You have to understand they're not bluffing, and they're not afraid of the third 10. So that means they have at least 3 10s, if not a straight or a flush or a full house. So whenever there's a pair on board, you have to just be careful because you're not in trouble, but you've got to realize they're not afraid of it. So you better have a hand that beats 3 10s, or you better be you can't be in with pocket aces and 2 10s flop, and you make your bet and this guy's calling you, and then this guy's jumping on you on the river. He's got your aces way beat, right? I got a set because by him making the ace 10-10, I'm being very careful, but I'm making a feeler bet. I'm making a $15, $20 bet. If the guy missed, he's folding. Maybe he's calling on a straight or flush draw. Maybe. And then if you check and he checks, then you know he's on the draw. Once in a while, I'll make the $15 bet feeler on the flop, and see I'm frozen. I hope I'm not frozen on your end. Now I'm back, I think. Well, this is very frustrating with the mouse and this whole internet. I think there's a lot of people here, and so they steal the internet. I noticed during the week it's not as painful using the internet. Anyway, so those are some poker tips. I don't even look for tells. I look at the bet for tells. So in other words, you check and I bet 40 and then you make it 100. I don't need to see your face to know you've got a set. I don't need, when the guy and the flop comes king, queen, jack, and I got ace, king, and king, queen, jack bets $50. I don't need to see his face to know he's got a big hand. Because we bet pre-flop, probably I think it was 15 or $20. Then I'm hoping the flop comes ace, king or something, or ace, seven, deuce, rainbow. Then I feel better. But when a flop comes king, queen, jack, and you bet $55, a lot of people play the bigger cards, and he could have either had a straight, he could have played 10-9. Or ace, he could have, well, I had ace king, so I'm not putting him on ace king to make a $55 bet, but just the way the guy played. And sure enough, he has queen jack, and then I can't catch a queen or a jack because it'll give him a full house. Actually, the queen came out and gave him the full house. And the only thing I can hope for is a 10 for a straight. I can't get the other end. So it's not like it's king, queen, jack, 10. I can catch the ace and the 9. All I can catch is the 10. So there's absolutely no point in chasing, even though you've got ace, king, and you got kings. You are playing the other players. You're playing his bet. Now, if he checks or bets $10, I'm going to call and just see what's going on. That means, so let's say he hit the queen. Let's say he's got queen. He hits the queen. Is he betting $55? Probably not. He's probably betting 10 or 15. And at that point, then I will call it and get a feel of what does he have. But he's going to play his two pair on a king, queen, jack board much stronger because he's afraid somebody's got an ace and just needs a 10 for the straight. So by him making the big bet, playing defensive, as far as I'm getting you out before you hit your straight, then that's what you're looking for. So you're looking for all those tells. You don't need to, this whole bullshit about tells. You don't need that. I mean, and if you watch me, I'm going to give so many fake tells, you won't know what I got. I'll fumble my chips. I'll, look disappointed. And I'm doing it on purpose because I know you're watching me. So we're not stupid. I mean, we know you're watching, looking for tells. So I'm going to give you fake tells. It's the bet, right? If you bet 50 and I make it 200, like the aces hand. Right, ace king makes it 15. Call. I make it 50. What the hell do you think I'm doing 54 on a 15 board? Do you think I'm bluffing? That's not a bluffing hand because you've got a 15 better and two callers. Well, the callers probably are having small pair, but the $15 guy who bet first probably has a good hand and is not going out. And when I made it 50, he played right into my trap. Now, instead of going all in, I went 50. He went all in for another 100, and then I had no choice but to call. But I laid the trap, right? He's calling with ace king, but I got aces. But by betting 50, am I stealing the pot or what's going on? Why am I betting 50? And then he goes all in. The other two guys go out, and then I go in and bet, and then I simply call it. And, well, I don't have a choice. He's all in, but the other two guys went out. So now it's a no-brain call because I can't be losing pre-flop. And I want to do that pre-flop with aces because once the flop hits, several times I've had aces. Somebody will call me with pocket nines, and the 9 hits the flop. He's got a set. And what they tend to do is they'll check, I make my bet, and then they check raise me, and that's the tell. Oh, you obviously hit a set, or at worst, you hit two pair. I couldn't be bluffing me because I'm not folding, so that leads to uh, him feeling like, well, he's not going to fold aces, so I'm going to make a big bet. I'm going to really get him. He's got aces. I'm going to get him with my set, and I fold 99.5% of the time knowing that you checked, I bet I have a hand. There's no way you're bluffing me. There's no way you're raising me with high pair. The flop comes 9, 8, 2, and you got nines or eights or twos, and now you've hit the set. What are you raising me with? A pair of nines? You're not. I bet 40. You're gonna raise me with a pair of nines? No, that ain't never happening. You're raising. It's all psychology. People will raise you when they think, hey, they're greedy. Well, that's not greed. It's intelligence, but I want to make as much money. That's what poker is, as I can. And there's a hand. The guy next to me with the queens and jacks had king jack, and I had ace something, and the flop comes king jack, and he's got a full house, and he checks, and I think I check, and boom boom boom, and then and I look at him, I go, I can't believe you didn't bet. And he says, well, I didn't need to. I had the nuts, and they were betting. Somebody was betting into him, and I got out of the pot. But when I see a lot of activity and I see a $50 bet and a call, I'm out unless I flopped, a flush or a set. I'm out. That's not the hand you want to get involved with if you don't have anything. You're not going to bluff them out. They got good hands. They don't even think like that. Where I'm playing at the MGM or at Caesars or the Venetian or anywhere, they're not thinking like that. They don't know how to think like that. I don't think anybody knows how to think like that. They want to you're not bluffing and then the guy's calling you bluffing. I mean, that's only on fake TV when these guys who are playing with other people's money are just like doing that. You see them in a real game, nobody's betting 100 and then a $200 bet, and then they're both bluffing, and that's bullshit. Because you can see, because people can't afford to bluff. It's very hard to bluff. Because if you bluff and you get called, you're fucked and you lose. And then how angry are you if you lose on a bluff? Oh, I had nothing, but I bluffed and I lost. And you're like, fuck, because you're only getting called by a good hand. So if you can bluff, and then the guy will go out. But if otherwise, if you bluff and you get called, you're fucked because the guy's got a hand. Nobody's calling $100 with nothing. And so you got to watch. So if it's a $2 pot, and then it comes, everybody checks, and then you bet 20, that's when you can bluff, and that's when you can win, right? Because there's not a lot in the money, and everybody's checking, where if they had a hand, they'd make a bet, and then you go ahead with it. That's how I tend to small pot, checked around, I'll bet. Once in a while I get called, and then I try making the next bet, but I'm not betting big, I'm betting small. Like on there, I'm betting maybe $15. And I know that's a bet size that if you have nothing, you're getting out. If you have kind of a piece of it, you're probably getting out. But then I know my customers. If there's a guy that's playing on Thursday, he would call a lot. And so what I did with him is I didn't bluff him. When I had a good hand and I knew he was going to call, I'd bet like 25. And sure as shit, he'd call. One hand, I outkicked him with ace king. So then we're in another hand, and I flop aces and sevens. I flop two pair, and it comes down to the river, and I bet 25 on the turn and then 35 on the river. And I know he's going to call me. And he even says, well, you probably got me outkicked. So I know he's just got an ace, and then he calls anyway. So he figures it out and still calls. I mean, you got to love people like that. All right, let me get off and come back because I want people to get my baseball bets. It's 12:30. So I will be right back. www.teaserking.com. Good luck on the betting today. Let me come right back.